It was a dusty afternoon at a roadside gas station near Redding, California. The sun hung low, heat shimmering off the cracked pavement. The place was nearly empty, just an old pickup truck and a group of loud motorcycles pulling in. The Iron Fangs, a local biker gang, were known for being aggressive. Leather jackets, steel-toe boots, tattoos. They looked as tough as they acted. When they saw the old man filling up his rusty truck, they thought they'd found easy entertainment. "Hey, old-timer," sneered their leader, Ruckus. "That truck belong in a junkyard?" The old man, calm and quiet, didn't even look up. "She still runs just fine." Ruckus didn't like the tone. He shoved the man, not hard, just enough to make a point. That's when the old man looked up, steel blue eyes locking onto Ruckus. No fear, just something colder. "You don't want to do this, son," he said. "Walk away." The bikers laughed. Another one knocked off the old man's hat. He sighed, picked it up, and dusted it off. "You boys ever hear the name Jack Whitmore?" he asked as he placed the hat back on. The laughter stopped. A couple of older bikers froze. Jack Whitmore wasn't just anyone. He was a legend. A one-man wrecking crew who dismantled gangs that went too far. "You've got 3 seconds to leave," Jack said, voice sharp, "or I'll remind you why your old bosses were scared to say my name." The bikers' confidence vanished. Even Ruckus backed off. Without another word, they got on their bikes and sped off. The gas station attendant stepped out, wide-eyed. "Was that really you, Jack Whitmore?" Jack gave a faint smile and climbed into his truck. "Some things are better left buried," he muttered, then drove off. By sundown, every bar from Redding to Shasta Lake was buzzing with the story of the old man who sent the Iron Fangs packing with just a name. But the story wasn't. The Iron Fangs weren't the type to let an old man bruise their pride. At their clubhouse, Ruckus, nursing his ego, rallied the gang. They planned revenge. The next evening, they found Jack's truck parked near a crumbling barn. Engines rumbling, they surrounded the place. Ruckus strode to the door, bat in hand. "Come out, old man," he yelled. "This ain't over." The door creaked open, but no one stood there. Just an empty chair with an old biker vest on it, marked with the insignia of the Black Reapers. Ruckus froze. The Black Reapers were once the kings of California's roads, feared and untouchable, until one man tore them down. A voice spoke from behind the barn. "You boys rode into a graveyard tonight." Jack stood in the fading light, calm, hands in his jacket. "I told you to walk away. Now you're knocking on the devil's door." The bikers turned and saw headlights blink on all around them. A circle of old bikers, Jack's former crew, had come out of retirement for one last ride. Ruckus dropped his bat. Jack stepped closer. Respect is earned. Fear is taught. Tonight, you'll learn both. The Iron Fangs retreated into the night, beaten without a fight. One of Jack's crew lit a cigarette. "Thought you were done with this life." Jack looked out at the hills. Some things never stay buried. Some boys only learn the hard way. Days passed. The Iron Fangs stayed quiet, but Jack knew it wasn't over. At a roadside diner one cold morning, Jack stirred his coffee as the door jingled. A shadow fell across his table. Not Ruckus, someone worse. Viper Kane, a name Jack hadn't heard in decades. The last lieutenant of the Black Reapers. The only man Jack never took down. "Long time, Jack," Viper said, sliding into the booth. Jack didn't flinch, figured you'd crawl back eventually. "Ruckus told me you humiliated his crew. You made enemies of Pops, Jack. But I'm the wolf you should have stayed worried about." Jack sipped his coffee. "I didn't start this, Kane, but I'll finish it." Viper chuckled. Old dogs like us don't finish much these days, but I've got one last bite left. Hope you do too. That night, Jack returned to the barn, this time preparing for war. Tools, chains, and a duffel bag full of old weapons sat open on the bench. The moon lit the old highway. Jack stood by his truck, wind tugging at his jacket. He'd seen this before, the stillness before violence. Engines broke the silence. The Iron Fangs returned, led by Viper, his black motorcycle marked with a cobra. "One last chance, old man," Viper called. "Lay down or get buried." Jack pushed off the truck. "You brought numbers. I brought experience." He whistled. Lights blinked on in the hills. Old engines roared to life. Jack's crew rolled in. A circle of ghosts on wheels. "This doesn't have to end in blood," Jack said. "But if it does, make peace with it." Even Ruckus hesitated. Viper couldn't. He reached for his knife, but Jack moved first. A single punch dropped him to the ground. "You came looking for a legend," Jack said. "Now you've met one." The Iron Fangs backed off. Some climbed on their bikes. Others stood frozen. Jack walked away. Viper lay in the dirt staring at the stars. Jack hadn't just won the fight, he'd won the war. "You were always faster than me," Viper croaked. Jack took his time replying. "Wasn't about speed. It was knowing when to stop." Viper let out a dry laugh. "And yet here we are." Jack knelt beside him. "Ruckus and his boys won't last. They don't have the code." He tossed something on the ground beside Viper, an old black Reaper's patch. "That life's over. Stay in the dirt or get up and leave it behind. Your choice." Without waiting, Jack got in his truck and drove off. Some battles never truly end. Some legends never die. And for Jack Whitmore, the road still called.